I can't believe I'm being lied to by this group of people whose sole responsibility is to hold truth to power.
You went from being a large Democrat donor to now a very outspoken proponent on the other side of the aisle.
Yeah. This is not about politics for me. It's about the truth. There was a moment where I was basically like everybody else and pretty brainwashed. My media diet was very much the same as everybody else's. I read the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal. I watched a little bit of CNN, a little bit of CNBC, a little bit of MSNBC, a little bit of CBS. Economist every now and then you encounter it on a plane, and you think you know what's going on. And I had a perception of Donald Trump initially from the moment he walked down the staircase in Trump Tower to announce. And then over the course of 6 or 7 years, I realized that some of those fundamental things that I was told about him were just totally false. And there was enough content online where I was almost afraid, but it started with Charlottesville. I was almost afraid to look at it because I'm like, I think I was lied to.
All right, so the guy who's talking is from the All-in-One podcast. I want to say his name, but I may say it wrong, Chamath, and he's a billionaire. And he's talking to Stephen Miller's wife. This is her podcast, Katie. And he's telling you the story how he woke up one day and realized, I'm on the wrong side of the aisle here. Everything I've been told is complete bullcrap. And so you have to imagine yourself, here's a guy who is extremely successful, billionaire, part of a group of people who do a huge podcast, and they give all kinds of financial advice to people. And even he was duped by what they said about President Trump. Here's a guy whose entire life is based upon being clear and understanding what decisions to make, what levers to pull to help people make money. And he's like, I don't know what happened. These people are crazy.
And then I saw it. I saw what he said, but then I saw the portrayal. I had originally believed that portrayal until I saw the truth. And then I just started to go down that rabbit hole. So for me, it was an evolution where I was like, I can't believe I'm being lied to by this group of people whose sole responsibility is to hold truth to power. The key word there is truth to power, not your perception or your desires.
And when I met him, my views were softer. Well, they still are. I try always to keep optionality to be wrong, to weigh probabilities, to weigh up the risks. He had no idea of what risk meant. And that meant a lot to me because it showed me what it meant to be fearless in the market of ideas.
The market of ideas. That used to be something we all promoted, the marketplace of ideas. That's what the idea behind Twitter was supposed to be before it became X. That's the idea that all of this social media was supposed to be before the deep state got their fangs into it, before the deep state worked with some of these people to basically co-opt your ideas and your thoughts. When we first, and I was one of the early adopters of Twitter, I thought that's what it was. We were all going to be able to talk to each other and exchange ideas. Man, I'm looking at this property. What do you think? Oh, hey, I don't know if that works. Let's look at this one. Hey, listen, how about your football? Oh, yeah, Notre Dame's doing fair. I could talk to anybody. I remember when I got into marketing, I used to have dialogue with the CEO, the CEO of Airbnb, the director of marketing of Coca-Cola, the CMO of Target. It was amazing. Like, wow, I'm actually talking to the CEO and the CMO of Target. And it did so much for my advertising business. And then, of course, so much for my real estate business, being able to reach out to an agent or someone who's doing something in, I don't know, Idaho. And it was a giant marketplace, really, of ideas. Marketplace meaning can you do something that's going to help your business? It put LinkedIn to shame. We were able to talk and discuss it. If you weren't on the early days of Twitter, you missed out of what it was supposed to be like. And now the evolution, even under Elon at this point, and I see they're trying to dial it back. We need to get back to where people just talk to each other. And there was no predicate. Hey, are you a Democrat? No, nobody asked that. It truly was a marketplace of ideas. And then the sinister stuff started happening. And the sinister stuff where they started tracking everything. Full disclosure, when I was advertising, I knew how, I mentioned it to you before, I could track every single thing people were doing. If they clicked that thing, I got your data. I knew if you used your credit card in the last 7 days. I knew what zip code you lived in. Facebook was giving me everything. Many people don't know that. I had so much data. People would come to me and say, can you sell me some data? Oh, what do you need? I need divorced people in area code 20051. Okay, I got that. How about divorced people with kids? Yeah, I got them too. It literally was like that. But it was a marketplace where now I could, some lawyer that wanted to talk to somebody who maybe was going to buy a house or get divorced. I already knew who was going to do it before they knew it. AI wasn't even there yet. It was just a complete marketplace of ideas. I just wanted to explain to you what she was talking about. Hey, I want to take a second and tell you about the sponsor of today's video. Did you know that U.S. life expectancy peaked at 78 years old in 2014, and it's now declining worldwide because we're aging faster than ever? Toxins, chemicals, and modern stressors are hitting us really hard. But scientists discovered kimchi actually slows aging at the cellular level. Now you can get all that power in one capsule, Kimchi One. Over 900 probiotic strains plus antioxidants and enzymes that support digestion, metabolism, skin health, and immunity. 100% made in the USA, all natural, non-GMO. Click the link below in the description and use code Barry for 25% off, or call 888-418-6738 right now for up to 50% off plus free shipping. Feel younger starting today with Kimchi One from Brightcore. Now back to the video.
And in this way, I've noticed this journey. I've noticed him change. I've noticed him integrate a lot more of the things that were important for me, like measurement, judgment. But he factored them in with experience instead of starting off from the idea of wanting to be right.
There's a long-standing myth that low-information voters buy into. It's that Republicans are for the rich and the Democrats are for the little guy, the party of the poor. But at the American Thinker website, pundit Derek Wilburn ran the numbers, and the economic data during the regime turns the myth on its head. Wilburn found that under the first 6 years of the Obama administration, the rich have gotten very rich. The poor have gotten very poor. In 2008, there were 39.8 million families living under the poverty line. In 2014, the number's projected to be right around 50 million. There are over 40...
How could that be? You see, Obama was supposedly a man of the people. How did the poverty line expand to the point where rich got richer, poor got poorer, to the point where 50 million people under the first black president were living below the poverty line? Well, it happened because that was the intent.
6 million Americans on food stamps, another stat that's risen dramatically under Obama. The bottom line is that the number of American families collecting some kind of welfare under Obama is at a post-Depression era high. One figure that Wilburn did not include in the mix is the 90 million people chronically unemployed. Now, meanwhile, over 1 million new millionaires are created under Obama. How? Well, look at the taxpayer dollars the regime threw at companies like Solyndra. Green energy firms went bankrupt, but his buddies, who also happen to be donors, walked away wealthy. And look how his big Wall Street and Silicon Valley donors are made out. Under Obama's crony socialism, Obama's cronies live like kings. But low-information voters are going to keep drinking the Obama Kool-Aid as long as he pours it, because that's all many of them can afford to drink. Because Obama's going to help them at some point. You wait.
I love that. I love that piece by Rush, because it explains perfectly the Democratic Party today. Everything you saw when I showed you the guy from CNN and how they're all whacked out because they think the black representation and people lied and cried and died over everything, is because that's the Kool-Aid they continue to push right now. And what I liked about what he showed there was how people who had motivation, aspiration, innovation continued to prosper. Whereas people over here who wanted to drink the Kool-Aid and get free stuff, they prospered as well in their own way. They were able to get more food stamp, more welfare, Obama phones, because the people over here were prospering in real life. This can't happen if this doesn't churn dollars. For some reason, too many Democrats don't realize the money you're giving out is coming from the people who are getting rich, as they say, or wealthy. There's a difference. Without the people innovating, disrupting, driving business, owning business, making money, this can't happen. Whatever we say about Obama, he understood that. He understood, I need to let these people keep making bank so that I can keep these people in the hood. The problem is, at this point, the Bernie Sanders crowd, the AOC crowd, doesn't understand, the Mandami crowd, they don't understand that you gotta promote this. If these people aren't churning, if these people aren't there buying boats and houses and cars, there's nothing to give these people over here. And President Trump at this point has realized, I got an even better idea. I'm going to help the people over here be even more successful. And the people over here, I'm going to take this Kool-Aid away from them and say, hey, I'm going to show you how you can get some of this. It's a completely different paradigm. You have the ability, the opportunity, and I'm going to show you how you don't need to have food stamps and the Kool-Aid and everything else. You can join some of these people. You're not going to be at the same position, but you can take advantage of what my economy is going to offer you. And it's freaking the Democrats out because there's no counter argument. The only counter argument is to tell people those people are bad. Those people shouldn't have anything, and I'll take care of you. Let me pat you on your head because I understand you're unprivileged and you can't do anything because of those people. Meanwhile, Obama, their messiah, understood, hey, if they churn and burn, these people, I can give out more stuff. So I can keep my voters, they'll keep voting for me, and I'll get the rich donors to help as well. And now Mandami and AOC want to shoot, metaphorically speaking, the guys and gals who out there and churn the money. Listen to this insanity.
All of a sudden, we now have a paramilitary force. We don't have a court system, right? They don't need, they don't think they need judicial warrants. So you don't get due process. So you start creating this black box system.
That's right, black box warehouses.
Point a finger, whether it's like, again, like we saw in Jim Crow, whether you just point a finger and 100 years ago accuse a little black boy of something, you can point a finger and accuse someone of that today. If you think once you build that machine that it's only going to be reserved to that.
That's right.
That's right. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, you're blowing me away with your brilliance. What the hell did she just say? She didn't say anything. And the other lady's like, you're brilliant. It's so fantastic what you're saying. I love it. Please continue.
This eats profit. These things, ICE, it's not just ICE. It's Core Civic, it's Geo Group. Those are corporations that run ICE detention centers.
Right. That's right.
They are for profit. They are traded on Wall Street. And what happens...
Can you believe that? There's corporations out there that make money. They're on Wall Street. Just to let you know, these corporations that somebody formed, they're on Wall Street. We can't have that.
Oh my God. Is that those companies and this system is that it does not accept anything but growth. It's not even good enough to be profitable. It's not even good enough to be profitable. You have to be more profitable and more profitable and more profitable. It's not enough.
Wait a second. It's not even good enough to make money. You got to make more profit. Yeah. Tell me more. And you got to make more profit. Yeah. I hear you. And what's your point? What is the point that you're making? Oh, you want to turn off the spigot that Obama was telling you how to get these people their free stuff. If you turn off the spigot on the people who want more profit, how the hell are you going to pay these people? Come on, honey. You got to work with me here. Obviously, the lady you're talking to, she ain't got no clue either.
To be a profitable business, you have to keep growing those profits. And so once they've rounded up every person in this country, who do you think is next?
This is the thing about, I said, I mentioned genocidal frameworks before, as growing up as a Jew, as a minority where I grew up and going to Hebrew school and learning about the Holocaust, I was like, holy shit, this is crazy. It wasn't taught in school. I'm not sure the way it's taught in school now, but the way that I've come to understand this system is that there's a spectrum of true democracy, which, like you said, Black people and Black Americans in this country have been building since they were.
I would love to help you. I was waiting to see how she was going to weave in the Holocaust to welfare programs. Got no idea. As she nods along, and this is what these younger people are listening to and sopping up with a biscuit. And everybody, older boomers, what in the hell are you talking about, honey? You make no sense. None. And your other buddy over here, AOC, she's as dumb as the rocks that you're throwing at her. But the methodology of what she's saying is, I realize I'm not the audience and you're not the audience, but it's some ignorant kid somewhere who's thinking somehow making a profit is sort of like the Holocaust or something.
Not captured and brought here.
We weren't really a democracy until 1963,
That's right.
1965.
That's exactly right.
Voting rights and
That's
civil
right.
rights.
That's
We were apartheid.
Okay, honey, let me just tell you something. I was born in that apartheid, I guess. My dad came over from Jamaica and somehow started a construction company so that my little rotund butt could grow up and eat. And guess what? He brought his brothers over from Jamaica, a couple other dark-skinned bros. And guess what they did? They worked in a construction company and they did their own thing, and then they built houses and during the apartheid part of, United States. What the hell are you talking about? And how are these people nodding along? Oh, it's been apartheid. Yeah.
Or then.
That's exactly right. It's 70 years old or so, this system, 80 years old. And, it's there's a true democracy and fascism. And it's just about the dials, these genocidal frameworks. And they're just
genocidal frameworks. I know I saw somebody I'm done. Don't be done. Don't be done. Don't turn it out and go, I can't listen. No, you got to listen to this. I need to come where you are and pull your eyeballs open. You need to listen to this because that's what half the country is listening to. That is specifically the genocidal framework. What the hell are you talking about? I'm 65, I'm black, and I was never part of a genocidal framework. I'm still here, unless I'm not. But I think I'm still here. Maybe I'm living in some sort of alternative reality, and none of this is real. It's Inception, because you've seen the movie Inception. But don't turn away. You have to hear the crap that they're telling these kids.
Turning the dials up on trans people. They're turning the dial up on the genocidal framework on black people. And right now, the dial is being turned up on specifically Latino immigrants, but immigrants of color. Mm-hmm. And, you know, that poem about the Holocaust, about a Christian religious leader who was in a concentration camp, was like, first they came for the Jews, then they came for and then they came for me. And
who's they? MAGA? I don't know. But now you understand why the kids are so confused. That's why they're lopping off their junk. That's why they're trying to play the wrong sport. This is the kind of stuff that gets fed to them, you know, very softly, very smiley. We're going to turn up the dials of genocidal framework. What genocidal framework? There's nobody looking to kick in my door because I'm black. What are you talking about?
And, you know, I think the story that's sold is to the white working class that they will never come for you. But they're seeing now with AI and data centers that they are coming for them. Mm-hmm. And they are coming for their homes, their water, their air, for growth, as you said.
They're coming for your homes and your water for growth. Now you understand why kids are so messed up. You understand why these kids have no direction, why they're so hopeless. Because the machine's coming for you. You know, first they came for me, then they came for this, now they're going to come for you. Who's they? This thing, AI, is going to jump out of a computer system and come for you? Not once during the time they were talking did any of them say, here's how you compete. See, it's easy to sell the doom when the doom is what you want people to buy. When you don't give people the opportunity, when you don't give them the answer, the hook, and all your show is like, yeah, life sucks, you're going to die, and they're going to come for you, just like with the Holocaust, which has got to be insulting to so many people, especially people here in a free country. You're never doomed. If you accept being doomed, they win. If you look away and allow them to tell your grandson and kids, that's what they're coming for you. They're doomed. Why does Barry talk about prosperity? Because I have to counteract that insanity. And unfortunately, I'm trying to counteract that insanity with people my own age who don't get it. So I know if there are some of you here who don't understand prosperity and why you should be going for it, how do you expect your grandkids to know? Because if you're turning away and Barry keeps talking about prosperity, I don't want to hear, then what do you think is going to happen to your younger people in your family? They're not going to know. When I opened up my grandson's bank account and we started putting money into his account, and he's doing so well learning how to balance his books and understand he can buy stuff and what not to buy and enjoy himself at the same time being fiscally responsible. And then my not youngest, but the middle grandchild, Ashley's middle daughter, we just opened up her bank account. And, you know, you monitor it and, you know, she's understanding. So if I give somebody this card thing here, they're going to give me something in return. But at the same time, it's taking a number away from what's in my account. And you learn that at 12 and 13 instead of this crap. You know, the genocidal framework that they're tuning up on everybody because these corporations just want profit. Hey, honey, when you go to the store and you buy a smoothie, that company with the sign up there is going to, give you the smoothie in exchange for the debit that they're taking out of your account. And you're getting that good so that this corporation is profitable. You see how that works, honey? I can't wait to give our youngest granddaughter her account so she can get in the game and understand, okay, this is what we need to do. Because that's the alternative. This is what we have to look forward to. Her and people like AOC telling our kids it's a genocidal framework and these corporations are just trying to make money. They want this country destroyed in order to get to their socialist nirvana, this utopia that they have in mind. They have to destroy your kids' minds. Don't look at starting a family. Cut it off. You don't need it anymore. You don't need it. You can still play in a girl's sport. So there's no reason for you to have that thing dangling around. And you, ladies, young girls, you don't need men. Watch this. We can roll around in the hay together and we can have this thing called love, which there's nothing wrong, except for the way in that they're telling people. You see, the idea was behind all of this was to stop procreation. You air breathers have been getting in the way. I got an email the other day from somebody who said, they didn't like how I said that being gay was a gateway drug to doing some of this crazy stuff. And I realized after I read it, I went, you're exactly right. You're exactly right. If two people wanted to get together and have their life a certain way, and I'm not going to tell you and impose my beliefs upon you. Two adults are making that decision. Two reasoned, intellectual decision makers have decided we are going to do this. The problem with it is that what is going on now with what they're trying to tell all these kids that they can be just completely happy, and they're not. Don't look away. Don't look away. Don't just take it for granted because somebody's listening to these people. AOC has a massive social media following. I don't know who this woman on the podcast is, but she's got 10 viewers. She's got 10 people she can talk to. And so you need to be able to educate the kids around you and say, that's not how it is. Here, let me show you how this makes sense. And most kids, even like my 12-year-old granddaughter, they like the idea of capitalism. So wait a second. I can go someplace with my card and I can buy something? Oh, that's pretty cool. She's learning what capitalism is. And some of you guys may say, but she doesn't have a job. Oh, she has a job. The codicil that she has and the codicil that my grandson have is your mama can turn it off anytime. So if you think you're going to mouth off to mom and dad, mom's going to call me and say, ixnay. So it goes away. Number 2, you got to get good grades. Number 3, I don't want to see anybody calling mom and saying you acted up in school. Number 4, go to church. Not in that order. And that keeps people grounded as you continue to teach them so these people don't make inroads into their heads. It's crazy, absolutely crazy.